Welcome to Reunite with Self podcast. I'm your host, Ruken. Here, we will be discovering and unraveling what is truly holding you back. We will put the puzzle together and give you clarity on how and what you can do to create massive shifts in your life so you start creating the life you always envisioned for yourself. No more waiting. Whether it is liberating from dysfunctional family patterns or parenting tools and tips that actually make the difference, we will be diving into the truth and core of things that are simple and yet which no one talks about. I will be sharing with you all the things that would have changed my life massively if I heard any one of these episodes. A new world is awakening, and true bliss, harmony, and peace is possible on this earth, and my mission is to bring you closer to that one step at a time. In this safe space, I will hold your hand and give you courage and certainty that you can shift anything and everything in your life. It is time we break the pattern. Whether you want to be the parent you never had or make a shift in your life so you don't play small any longer, you will find the support and guidance in this space. My intention is for you to find your own answers within yourself while you listen to this podcast, so you feel the bliss of reuniting with your true essence, with self, with so much love and compassion and courage. From my heart to yours, let's keep it rocking. My gorgeous listener, welcome to another episode on Reunite with Self podcast. This is your host, Ruken. I am sorry if you're hearing in the background my very loud AC. It will stop in a moment. I hope you don't hear it. I apologize if you are. Let's get into today's episode. I'm very excited because I'm in Turkey right now. I live in Brazil now, but I'm originally from Turkey, as you may know. And I am here to see some friends and family and rest and rejuvenate and work as well. It's beautiful. And I know that my episodes have been a little bit sporadic during the week. Like, I'm not posting always on Thursdays. I apologize about this. I will get into a rhythm. I talk about this a lot on the podcast, but you may know this or not. I'm making a lot of changes in my life right now, so I will get into a great routine for my podcast, but it's been a little different than usual. So I apologize about it. But with the podcast, I have this English podcast and the same podcast in Turkish. So I do very similar content, but like different episodes usually. And I am beginning my journey in all of this to serve more and give like deeper value. I am so excited. So I'm taking the very first step in this. And that's why I wanted to talk about the masculine energy today, because interestingly, when I was coming to Turkey, I knew that this time I would start giving in-person workshops, just like healing all the things that I talk about on the podcast, like narcissism, any narcissistic dynamics in the family, or you just don't know where it comes from, but you might have a tendency to not take action on your goals and your vision, or you may not even know what your vision is. If you have any confusion, if you want to just start creating your incredible life, anything of the sorts. I knew that I wanted to create workshops in person, like group setting, in this Turkey trip. And so interestingly, with some family stuff as well, I realized that I actually want to do a circle for men first. And it is so interesting because sometimes the things that are easy for us, we think that it doesn't have any value, or it's just, other people have it too, or we usually believe that it doesn't hold much value. And the truth is, that's not the case. The truth is, if like you can look at the patterns in your life to see where you might be gifted. And with the masculine energy, I have had a lot of compassion and also a lot of experience of like a lot of different men, not just like in my romantic relationships or anything. It's just like in general with men, with the masculine energy. I've always had a talent to see like what happened in someone's life. I actually have this talent in both men and women, but for me, the masculine energy is very interesting. And I know that I have a lot of masculine energy in me and a lot of feminine energy in me. They're both like high. And so I experience them both. So, and with all the experience of like my life experience, and I just wanted to talk to you about this because my mission, my journey on this to give more value to other people's lives is just beginning, because I know the kind of value that I can bring to someone's life, because I have met a lot of people that really, like, I've had a lot of impact in a lot of people's lives. And I did that with the gift that I had without really understanding if it was like something like some great value. I didn't see that at the time, but it was always these people like either change their life massively, they realized something big about themselves. So they always had a lot of admiration for me, like a lot of love, a lot of respect, just like a lot of respect and love for me. And they always remembered me, even if I just saw them like maybe once at a dinner. It's just like I just want to tell you this because we have gifts that we don't even realize that it adds so much value to someone's life. And one of my big stuff is that like I see deep within the masculine. And my mission in this world is just to like, when I give value to someone's life, I just want to be able to just, remind them and awaken them to their potentiality, because we all have infinite potentiality. When I look at someone like younger than me, older than me, men, women, especially if they haven't started their journey of like self-actualization, I see so much potential in everyone. And it's like different in everyone, the things that we can do and give back to this world and thrive in and shine in. So interesting. Like I am waking up to my own mission in this world as well. Working with women excites me so much and it comes natural to me. And I thought that I would mostly do only women workshops, groups, or co-ed, like men and women together. But like, it's so interesting that I am actually beginning with only men. And I'm going to do this in Turkey, in Bodrum. If you speak Turkish and if you happen to be here, please come. It's going to be next Thursday, September 12th. In Bodrum. We're going to start in the morning. It's going to be a whole day. It's going to be an incredible, incredible workshop. We're going to move a lot, write a lot, do a lot of deep work, and a lot of like different things. Like we're going to work on anger. We're going to work on the deep wounds coming from mom and dad and all the things. It's just excites me so much. And this, again, is a gift that I have. Like I would always see in like boys around me, like older than me, younger than me, like what is holding them back. And I would actually see in them their like the hero inside of them. Or I want to use another word, but I can't remember. It's it's their essence. I see their essence, and I see how big their soul is and how big their potential is, and usually how their essence is different from how they're acting today. So, and I have a way to understand them, to show a lot of compassion to them. And because I just have this this energy of like deep compassion, even like to the men that are like really strong and successful and blah blah blah. Like I always see, like I always approach people with so much compassion. They become like they become very respectful of me because I see inside it. Like I don't just see their ego or their persona or how everyone respects them, blah blah blah. It's just that like a lot of like older men than me as well. Like it has been a part of my journey, a big part of my journey. And it was always something natural to me. It was just something natural. I would sit down in a dinner. I would go to like a wedding or something. I would meet new people and I would just see through them. And they would just open up to me, and they would have like a big realization, and then they would start, I don't know, like seeing their dad for the first time or something. So I always had this gift in me, and I did not, like, I was putting a lot of energy in it at the time. Like when I do it, I of course pour a lot of love into it. It's not that like our gifts are easy for us. It's not. We pour energy into it, but it just comes as a natural thing for us, as a reply to the situation. You know, I don't like surfacey talk. I like deeper conversations. I like talking about the truth. I don't like to pretend. I don't like fake stuff. Like it's just whatever. I don't want to make this longer, but I just want to tell you, it's so interesting that it just excites me so much to work with men in a group setting, and then they have the feeling of the brotherhood, and they feel the support and the trust in the brotherhood while they experience some deep work like this. Because as women, we are so nourished with sisterhood. We need it. We need sisterhood. It's something that truly, truly, truly nourishes our soul. And I can see today, I want to talk to men today, and I want to talk about the masculine energy today. So if you're a woman listening, I'm sure you're going to resonate with a lot of things that we'll talk about today. Because, okay, two things. We both have, like, men and women, doesn't matter your, what is it called? Like sexual preference, whatever. Doesn't matter who you like. But like if you're a man or a woman or whatever you call yourself, we all have feminine energy and masculine energy. We all have it. And we all have it in our essence. We all have it in different what would it be? Like not percentage, but just in different octaves, in different shapes and color and texture. It's masculine is not the same, doesn't manifest itself the same way in every man and woman, and feminine doesn't manifest itself in the same way in every man and woman. It's just a different texture. It's just a different octave. It's just a different essence. And I am realizing that men actually today are in need of so much support. Us as women, not all of us, and it's just the beginning, but we have begun, us as women we have begun looking at ourselves, our healing journey in some way, shape, or form. We have started looking at ourselves in a deeper way. We have started feeling our feelings. We have started looking at where they might come from. We've started exploring, learning, getting support, getting help, And we always like have a higher tendency in general. We have a higher tendency to spend time with our sisters, with our gals, with our friends, with our girlfriends. We tend to spend more time, and we tend to, in general, we tend to share more. Of course, world has changed a lot and friendships are evolving a lot. And I believe now true friendships, like friends that inspire you, support you, see you, hear you, cheer you, hold space for you, and are nourishing for you and inspiring for you, are even more valuable today. And they when you have them, they're even more cherished. And it's just like friendships are life. Friendships are so, so crucial. I'm not going to talk about friendships today, but us as women, we have started our healing journey more, if I would have to compare, more than men. And there are different reasons for it, of course. And we are like, some of us have started getting into these ceremonial spaces, like doing deeper work, going into any kind of workshop, even if it's just business, because you do deeper work in great places. You do the deeper work, whether it's for your finances, business, whatever, like learning ceramics or whatever. Like it's deeper work than that if it's a great space. And us as women have begun doing these things. And on Instagram, in social media, we see women doing rituals with each other, like being in the same space with other sisters. This is becoming more normalized. It doesn't mean that people have it enough in their lives yet, but it's just, we are becoming more familiar with it. It's just becoming more like normalized. And it's only the beginning. But for men, we don't see that. What men tend to share when they share a space, it's much different. It has to be different than women. But the healthy brotherhood, I believe, is like, I don't want to say more or less, but is as essential for communities as women spending time in sisterhood. Men spending time in brotherhood, like with their brothers, in healthy relationships that are good for their soul, is as essential as women spending time with each other. So it's not just spending time together, as you can imagine, because it's the same for women. It's not just spending time together and gossiping or talking about other people instead of like talking about your deep, like the truth of how you're feeling or whatever. It's not just like going to a game or I don't know, whatever, like in a business setting, or people have such higher expectations from men for making money, for provide, for blah, blah, blah. So it's not just spending time with other men, but it's doing it in a healthy way, in a way that really nourishes their soul. And I've just started exploring the space, but of course it just excites me to work with men and to make them roar, like bring out their true essence, whether he roars, whether he is like more of an artist, whether he has a different essence, but just bringing that out, because we all have a part of us that wants to roar. It just excites me so much because it just comes natural to me. Because it would have been something that I would have done if I was living in a community, and I would bring the boys together and make them roar and bring out their emotions and see their emotions and have them witness their vulnerabilities and like write it down, make them realize like what happened in the past, how it affected them, what's stopping them now, what might have manipulated them, what's their true essence, what do they really want to say, what do they really want to do, what did they hold back, how do they want to communicate with their brothers, what do they want to share, how if they share they would see how similar they are, and they would realize that they're not alone in their feeling of like weakness, feeling of not enough, feeling of not worthy, feeling of incompetence, like all the stuff. They would see that they're not alone in those feelings, because in sisterhood, when we share, we only realize that we're much more similar than what we think, and also that we're not alone in our experience. The stories might be different, very different, doesn't matter. In our essence, we all are challenged by very similar things, and we all have very similar challenging emotions. Because in my life, I've had a lot of experience with the toxic masculinity, with the wounded masculine hurting others and throwing their own emotions onto others instead of owning the emotions and feeling the emotions, and thus how they would have start healing their emotions or start healing themselves. Instead of that, I've had a lot of toxic masculinity in my life where the men don't even know what they're feeling. They just throw what they feel onto the younger ones, especially, but to the other ones, to women, to their kids, to the younger boys, to the younger girls. And that's not a way to live. And that's not what masculine is. For me, the healed masculine, like the divine masculine, there is this two things that you feel in the presence of the divine masculine. If it's someone that has really like rode their journey and really have gone through through it all, and have really worked on themselves, have really healed themselves, and not completely. We don't have to heal ourselves completely, but you know what I mean? Like really have looked back at their childhood with both curiosity and compassion, and really have seen the truth and are living their lives with integrity. These humble, very strong men, in the presence of the divine masculine, you feel two things. And these two things, this formula, is like, what a concept. It is the essence of the masculine. It is what every masculine thrives. Like they would thrive if they could make their women feel this way, or their partner feel this way, or their kids feel this way, or any younger men or women around them this way, in the presence of the divine masculine. So divine masculine would be like, you can call it God, you can call it divine masculine, and you can even call it someone that is not perfect, but has the essence of the divine masculine, because they have really been through it. Not because they had an easy life, the opposite. They've been through it, and they have worked on it, and they have taken accountability of their lives, like full accountability of their lives and their actions, and they've truly been healing themselves, and now they're living with integrity. Of course, this person would have a very healed feminine side as well, which would be the magic. But in the presence of the divine masculine, if I think of like a god, like a Greek god that's like strong, or if I think about a man that is living in his truth, living in his authenticity, living in his I'll talk about the healed masculine or healing masculine characteristics in a moment, but the two things that you feel in the presence of the divine
masculine is you feel both safe and free at the same time. What a concept. Imagine you feeling all your life, you as the man you are, as the woman you are, feeling in the presence of your father from the moment you were born, most of the time, okay, let's say most of the time, they don't need to be perfect, but in general, when you think about your childhood, when you think about them, that you in the presence of your father, you always felt free and safe at the same time. Free to be yourself authentically, to speak your truth authentically, to act the way you feel that is true to you, whatever it is at the moment. Just free to be yourself and also safe to be yourself. If you felt safe mentally, spiritually, and mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and physically. So I'm saying the physical the last because it's not just like extreme example of like someone beating up their child, which is very, very common. But I want to talk like from the deeper spiritually, you feel safe around them. You feel safe around them emotionally. You feel safe around them mentally. And you feel safe around them physically. What a concept. And imagine in the presence, if you have any brothers, older or younger, imagine, because we always have to begin with the family, where we don't have to start with the uncle or the teacher or the boyfriend or whatever. In the presence, imagine if you, from the moment you were born or from the moment that your brother was born, from the moment that you were born, in the presence of your brother, you felt safe and free at the same time. This is the secret formula, the essence of the masculine. And imagine, because your mom has a masculine side as well, her masculine, she sees her masculine side, and she had been working on her masculine as well. And she doesn't have to be like consciously working on her masculine. It's just, you can even look at it as like working on areas of your life. There are, like in your workspace, there is a lot of masculine energy you have to be working on anyway. So she doesn't have to consciously know this is my feminine that I'm using in my work and this is the masculine. It doesn't have to be that way. But your mother has a masculine side as well. And when the masculine is healed in the woman, imagine being in the presence of your mother from the moment you were born. Let's say from the moment you were born. You can even go back. That's why I'm saying that. From the moment you were born, in the presence of your mother, if you become conscious of her masculine side, we all do have that. If her masculine was in a healing journey, was in a truly healing journey, like she was like willing to heal herself, imagine feeling safe and free at the same time in the presence of your mother's masculine parts. And then you can think about this in the presence of whomever that you have in your life, and you might have problems with them, or you might have resistance about them, or you might have like complications, problems, whatever. When you think about them, especially if they're a man, you can think like if they were truly in a healing journey, I would feel in general, like the general feeling of it would be, I would feel free and safe at the same time, because it doesn't matter. It's not worth anything if you only feel free but don't feel safe, or if you feel safe and don't feel free. It's worth nothing. the essence of it, the challenging one, the one that is truly in a healing journey is the one that is, let's say, not super controlling so that you feel free. And also that's not toxic or dangerous and throwing out their own emotions, like dumping their emotions at you. Instead, they own their emotions. They're accountable for their lives. They take accountability fully of their lives. They're willing to do this. And they feel their emotions. They own their emotions. They know it's not about you. It's what they're feeling. And they don't dump that onto you, so you feel safe around them, just as an example. So you can think of this for anyone in your life. You can think of your husband, your boyfriend, your even like females as well. But let's just think about the males. You can think of an ex-boyfriend and see how you were maybe you didn't even feel safe or free around them. Like both was not there. So it's very very important to understand that the masculine energy right now needs a lot of healing, and they need spaces that they can work on themselves like this, in like ceremonial spaces, in like workshops, in brotherhood where there is only men. They need this so much, of course, in a healthy way, not like in a toxic masculinity, because the masculine is as what's the word? Like, what's the word? Like, for me, the feminine and the masculine, they're both the same thing that I admire. Like, one is not better than the other one, or one is not more necessary than the other one. Like, they are both fabulous things in the world, and we need to work on both in ourselves. And I heard a writer, I think a researcher, say this in a podcast. I think it was School of Greatness. It was such a great episode. I listened to most of it. For example, I admire School of Greatness host Lewis Howes, I believe his name. He's such an amazing example of someone being so generous in their masculine, in his strong masculine, but still be like vulnerable, owning his emotions and working through his trauma from the past, and even so openly, and like thriving, working on to thrive in his like finances, whatever, work, business, but also he wants to fully heal emotionally as well. Like, he's curious and he's willing and he's kind and compassionate. So he's such a great example of someone in that healing journey. So nobody needs to be like perfect to be in this healing masculine energy. And of course, if someone is healing their masculine energy, they're for sure healing their feminine side as well. They both go together. Because, this writer said, it really stuck with me and I resonated with it so much, and I realized like that's what I believe as well. That's why I feel so much empathy for men as well. Because he said, the past 100 years, women, it was very challenging for women. But for the next 100 years, it's going to be very challenging for men. And this really stuck out for me. Like, I really resonated with this, because I feel like no matter what my girlfriends are saying, no matter like what the women are saying around me about their experiences with their husbands, with their boyfriends, whatever, with their partners, or with any men in their lives, I just have a lot of compassion for men, and I know that it's a very challenging world right now for men. And I have so much empathy and compassion, and I know they need so much support and they deserve so much support. It is so necessary, because these men were usually brought up, like raised by very wounded females and males both. They were raised by really wounded women and men. And I have to say as well, like all the toxic masculinity in the world right now, it's not just the what the men are doing. I never like to put anything on one gender, and also because I'm a woman, I have to take accountability, and it's just the way I function. Whenever people talk about it this way, like, by the way, anyone doing anything terrible, I know it all comes from family, like always. Did anyone see the nature of that child? Truly, blah, blah, blah. Like, who was raising them? Like, they don't need to be loving them. Like, it's not about loving or your intentions or whatever. Like, did you see them emotionally? Did you see yourself emotionally is the first question. So, okay, I don't want to make this long, but I think that men need a lot of support right now. The masculine needs a lot of support. And if men are like toxic for someone or whatever, we have to look at the women as well, for sure, because almost every boy is raised by a woman, at least one woman. And every boy is brought to this world by a woman. And if the power of a woman is taken from her, then it's very dangerous for the kids around her as well, not just for herself, not just for her soul, but it's just very dangerous, especially if she's not in integrity. So it's never just men. We have to look at women first, because in my life experience, I've seen that like deeply, like if you really look at it in a deep way, in families, women have a lot of power as well in relationships. Whether it is the man she chooses, whether her like intentions, like what her intentions are in bringing up, in like giving birth, raising a family, the intentions behind it are very important. And we have to be accountable. We have to look at the world today, like not pointing any fingers or anything, but we have to see every man is raised by a woman. And if that woman is suppressed, it's dangerous for the kids. Very dangerous, especially if it's a boy, like both. I don't want to say especially, but it's just interesting. If a woman is not seen by her husband, if she's suppressed, and if she gives birth to a boy, and if she's not fully in integrity, who will she want to manipulate, control, just be important for, blah, blah, blah. So it's very important that we heal the masculine in ourselves. It's our responsibility. And I just want to walk you through of some examples of, just to get like the essence of it, of what a healing masculine is. I don't want to say healed. You can say healed, but it doesn't have to be the divine masculine. You can think of the divine masculine here, but you can think of just someone, like I said, like being through it all and just worked on himself and is living with integrity, is living in his truth, is living authentically, and devoted to his healing, and knows the truth, like is accountable. Let's talk a little bit about this. Okay, so some characteristics of the healing masculine. So a healthy masculine would have, and you can think of yourself, if you're a woman, this is the masculine in you. If you see it, if you start healing it, if you activate it. A healthy masculine in you sets goals. And the healthy masculine sets these goals with integrity. The goals are in integrity, okay? So this is what differentiates a healthy masculine and the toxic masculinity in the world that just wants to make like money, and then, be in his egoic self and can destruct everything in the name of money just to make money, like is out of integrity. This is the difference. He thinks of the whole when he sets intentions, a healthy masculine. He sets goals. This is the masculine in us, the energy. A healthy masculine sets these goals with integrity, and a healthy masculine goes after these goals. So he takes action in bold, takes action. The healthy masculine in us sets these goals with integrity, and so he has goals. So he's not confused. So he is clear with what he wants. It can change in the journey, but he has clear goals. He looks at that goal and he goes after that goal. He takes action. And so discipline here is very important as well. A healthy masculine has a lot of discipline in his life. He knows what it takes to get there. So it's easy for a healthy masculine to take action. So you can think of your own life as well. If you're a woman, doesn't matter, male or female. A healthy masculine takes action easily. So is not stuck in his logic, is not stuck in the brain, is not stuck in thought, it's not stuck in worry or anxiety, is not stuck in there, but is in his body, not in his mind all the time. But he can be in his body, embody these things, and can go after what he wants. And that's what makes that using his emotion and his body, that's what creates the results, because he embodies that healthy masculine. So he will find a way to get to where he wants to get to, or get what he wants, but always with integrity. And the healthy masculine has a lot of compassion and has a lot of mercy. So has compassion and has a lot of mercy. The healthy masculine is able to hold space for his woman or whoever he's partnered with. He can hold space. He can listen to her emotions with being in his center, being centered, calmness, with generosity, with compassion. And he knows that this woman can take care of her problems if she wants to, and she only needs to be heard and understood. She doesn't need to be advised on. She doesn't need him to give her advice when he listens to her about something that she's been going through that day. He knows that what she actually needs in that moment, 90% of the time, is just to be listened to and to be respected enough to say, you can handle your life. I am not worried about you. You're going through big emotions, and that's part of life. I'm here to hold space for you. I'm not afraid of your emotions. I'm not afraid of your big emotions, because this man is mature enough to know that emotions come and pass. They're only emotions and feelings. And so he can listen to her calmly, hold space, and he knows that he doesn't need to give advice. The woman just wants to be heard and understood. By the way, if you're a woman, the masculine in you and the feminine in you, the masculine would know. It's the same thing as if you're in partnership. The masculine and the feminine and their relationship is something truly magical if they both start being activated and healed, and you're in that healing journey of realizing all these things and start integrating them into your life. Okay, so the healthy masculine can see his own emotions, owns the emotions, and feels the emotions. So he doesn't need to numb or run away from the emotions. This is so important, especially with our romantic relationships. Usually what we see in our communities is men running away from their emotions, not want to look at their emotions. I don't want to say usually, actually. It was like that in my past, but now I see very different examples. Thank goodness. But this might have been in your story in the past as well, like men numbing, like running away with anything addictive, or numbing, running away, dumping onto others. Like instead of saying I feel not worthy or I feel not enough, they would make you feel you are not good enough, you are not enough, or you are not worthy. Like with his actions, he would make you feel this way. I'm so familiar with this, from my past, thank goodness. But it's just something that the masculine, the wounded masculine does, and it's very destructive. And it has nothing to do with the healed masculine. The healed masculine sees his own emotions, owns them, and feels them instead of like dumping onto other. And he has the courage to look at them. Another one is, of course, courage. A healthy masculine has a lot of courage. So when he makes a decision, although he might not have the certainty in all the details or what's going to happen in the future, like he cannot control the outcomes in the future. But although he may even feel the fear, which is usually the case, he feels the fear, but takes action anyway, takes these steps anyway, goes into the arena anyway. It doesn't mean when someone is courageous that they don't feel fear. It's the opposite. The fear may be so big, but his courage says like, I am going to do this. I'm going to step up. I'm going to go after this because it's in my integrity. It's what my higher self would do, or it's what my future self would do. It's just how they behave. A healthy masculine, again, a very masculine, it has a lot of like clarity, has a lot of masculine energy in it, a lot of masculine element in it. Clarity. So a healthy masculine is clear, has clarity in what he wants, in what he feels, in what his intentions are. In work, in romantic relationships, he has clarity, right? So he doesn't leave you hanging. He doesn't leave you I want this, I want that. He makes decisions and he applies them, and he can express them. He can express his intentions or his decisions or how he's feeling with clarity. The healthy masculine is honest. So these are all like the divine masculine energy. So when we think about the divine feminine, if we want to embody them, this is the divine masculine energy. The healthy masculine is honest, first to himself and then to the ones around him. And like especially emotionally as well, like he is honest. We could elaborate on this in so many different ways, but when we talk about narcissism, if a parent is narcissistic, as you know, when he talks about the child, he makes the child feel not worthy, not because he thinks that the child is not capable. It's usually the opposite. He has a target, and especially his target are the ones who has more potential, and he doesn't like that. So he starts lying, and he lies to himself. Like how he says it is so the opposite, as if he thinks that the child is not enough. Like he's so in it to lie even to himself that you don't even realize like what's happening. But a healthy masculine is first honest to himself, and he talks the truth, and he doesn't lie to himself. Okay, a healthy masculine, this is a big one for a lot of men today and a lot of women today. A healthy masculine does not delay. He doesn't like to delay things. He takes action in the moment. He doesn't stay in doubt. He doesn't stay in fear. Like he doesn't stay in self-doubt. And he although things might seem uncertain, he creates the certainty within. Tony Robbins works on this amazingly. And he takes action protecting the ones around him as well. A healthy masculine is great at creating boundaries, creating and applying boundaries. He's great at this because if he has a goal and if that goal requires a lot of work from him and he has other responsibilities in his life too, he knows that saying no is necessary to get to his goals. This is a lot about like self-worth as well, that he doesn't need to be being a martyrdom, like victimizing himself or giving away things that he shouldn't in order to feel lovable or enough. He knows his boundaries. He knows like who he's supposed to protect, and he knows how to say no. Like it's easy for him because he knows it's essential and it's in integrity. He can say no to his own family members, to friends, to loved ones, to the people that he doesn't know. Honesty, and with love, with compassion, he does not make himself a victim. And he can love, like he feels love easily. He feels a lot of deep love. A healthy masculine is fair. This is very important. This is what we don't see in the toxic masculine because, a healthy masculine knows how to play the game. He knows how to play the game, and he does not manipulate or controls or doesn't take advantage of people emotionally, physically, materially, spiritually, energetically. He does not take advantage of others. He is in integrity, especially the ones that are like weaker than him. He does not take advantage of anyone or anything. Integrity and honor are like big words for him, but I'm not using them in any kind of patriotic ways. I'm using them in their true essence. Like honor and integrity are big for him. A healthy masculine is, so you feel safe and free. I'm reading through my notes. You feel safe and free emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually around the masculine as his woman, as his partner, wife, whatever, and as their kids as well. You feel safe and free at the same time. The healthy masculine takes action not out of fear, but out of love. A healthy masculine gives trust and trusts, because you are not trustworthy if you are not trusting others. So he trusts and he gives trust. So that's why you feel safe around them. The healthy masculine's energy is high. He can use his energy to, take action, have a vision, create a vision, see things through, see things clearly. He is always looking for solutions. The criticizing is the wounded masculine, the one that criticizes a lot. He's actually a wounded masculine, and even a wounded feminine too. But a wounded masculine is the one that criticizes a lot, criticizes other people, criticizes his kids, criticizes his wife, criticizes the government, like always in criticizing mode, and criticizing himself as well, whether he realizes or not. But a healthy masculine has a lot of high energy, so he can use that energy to embody the masculine and take action. And he's not all just masculine, by the way. He has a very healthy combination. He owns the parts of him that are feminine and that are masculine. This is never like someone just owning their masculine, by the way, because just owning your masculine is like a dry land. Like it doesn't mean anything. So when I talk about someone like that, I'm just talking about their masculine side. And yeah, because he's not criticizing, he's actually taking action, and he always look for the solutions, not the problem. A healthy masculine is always very supportive and compassionate and understanding to the younger boys and girls. And he respects other people's lives, that they are capable of, running their lives. He respects others, even if they're like children. He respects. And a healthy masculine has a lot of empathy. He has a lot of compassion and understanding for his wife, for his women, for his girlfriend, for his partner, and for the women in general. Because if he's in a relationship, especially, he sees the little girl he sees the little girl in that woman. This is so huge, and it's so delicious and so nourishing, and it's so empowering, and it's it's life, like life. If you are in partnership with a man and if you're a woman, let's say you're a woman, you're in partnership with a man and you're in a relationship with someone that sees the little girl in you. Imagine this. This is delicious. So it's not just the woman seeing little boy in him, but him doing that the same towards her as well. This is so, so, so delicious. And a healthy masculine actually follows the feelings, follows the emotions of his woman. I'll just call it his woman, but whoever he's partnered with. A healthy masculine follows the emotions of his woman because he actually feels those great emotions, those amazing emotions through her. That's why the masculine wants to take her out, wants to show her something amazing, because when she's like, in awe of something or admires something or loves something or excited, feels those like beautiful, beautiful feelings, emotions, he feels those emotions through her eyes. So it's a very masculine thing for someone to feel the emotions of his woman. He also knows that he will create his infinite abundance with the happiness of his woman. So it's important that his woman is happy. That's why that's how he will create the abundance, because the woman is, if she is the feminine, she is earth, and earth gives you abundance. And he's very respectful of that energy. And he has infinite respect and gratitude towards the feminine, towards earth, towards nature, towards women, towards his woman. And so, yeah, this is the healthy masculine. This is only a couple of things about the healthy masculine. I hope you've taken something away from it. Like, it's like, even if you're a woman, thinking about the masculine in you that helps you take those actions, goes after the things, setting goals, taking action, being compassionate to your feminine side when you feel the feelings, not criticizing that feminine side, not criticizing those emotions, being able to hold space and being able to hold space for yourself, and also knowing, because of this experience with yourself, knowing that you are worthy to have this in your relationship, because you start practicing it with yourself, knowing that this is possible and this is what you are worthy of. You deserve a masculine that can hold space for you and all the things. And if you're a man, thank you for listening. I'm so excited for the new workshop that I'm going to do next week. And I will be doing these things in English as well for different things for men as well. I am in my journey now. I'm so grateful. I'm going to be bringing lots of beautiful things in the next 1 year for sure. I love you so much. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next week.
My gorgeous listener, if you had any takeaways from this episode or from this podcast in general, I would love to know. Please share this episode with a few loved ones right now. You never know how they can benefit from something so small. And please take a screenshot of this episode and share on IG, tagging me at Khewella. That is Khewella. Khewella. That is my goddess wear brand, my Instagram page. I would love to know what your takeaway was, or something you found inspirational, or a confirmation you believe in as well. That would make my day. And you can always DM me if you have a topic or a certain question in mind that you want me to talk about. And give me a 5-star rating if you feel like it. That would help this podcast immensely to get the word out. I love you. See you on the next one. I want to see you shine your brightest.